Good evening. I am Cherry Imparanyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Makini Democratic Party has today launched its campaign, insisting if elected, it will prioritize empowering marginalized groups in the country and strengthen key sectors including education, agriculture, and health. Kanki Magumola has more details.
Speaking during the launch of his party's campaign at Manzese in Dar es Salaam region, the Secretary General of the Makini political party, Amir Hassan Amir, who is also the presidential candidate for Zanzibar, says if his party is elected, will prioritize the interests of marginalized groups like local boda drivers by providing them with 1 million Tanzanian shillings, the Edere by giving them an allowance starting from 100,000 Tanzanian shillings monthly, and all journalists in the country will be given an opportunity to attend seminars in Canada to further their education.
Chama cha Makini kitaanzisha mfuko, itakuwa Makini Fund.
The Makini Party will establish a fund where every business women will be given an unconditional loan, and all boda drivers will also be given 1 million shillings each, and this is the Makini Party's manifesto.
During the campaign launch, Azza Haji Suleiman, who's the party's running mate, urges the youth to exercise their democratic rights in electing the right leaders peacefully.
Kwa hivyo mimi nitakuja hapa kwamba ndugu zangu napenda tudumishe amani.
I urge the youth to practice their democratic rights and vote peacefully, as Tanzania is a peaceful country. Let's continue to maintain peace and love.
And finally, the man himself, Costa Jimmy Kibonde, who is the presidential candidate for the Makini Party, insists his priorities are education, agriculture, and health, saying from kindergarten to university, education will be free. They will make efforts to ensure that any young person in Tanzania will be educated anywhere in the world at the expense of the government, insisting that every youth in Tanzania will be given 5 hectares of land if elected to be president in October this year.
Kuhusu swala zima la elimu, tumesema kuanzia chekechea mpaka chuo kikuu itakuwa ni elimu bure.
If you believe, as we have said, that from kindergarten to university education will be free, and any Tanzanian youth shall be educated anywhere in the world.
Costa Jimmy Kibonde adds that his party will make sure that efforts will be made to ensure that any young person in Tanzania will be educated anywhere in the world at government expenses.
Kipaumbele cha kwanza tumesema ni elimu.
The Makini Party has 3 priorities: education, agriculture, and health. If you vote for me, I will ensure that all priorities are implemented.
Furthermore, he says his party will ensure that every Tanzanian youth secures employment through his government. Kanki Mwegomole, TBC News.
CCM presidential running mate Ambassador Emmanuel Nchimbi says if CCM is re-elected, it will put focus on the irrigation sector, as well as increasing the agricultural budget to meet the expectations of the farmers in the country. Ambassador Nchimbi made the remarks during party's campaigns in Igangabilili and Mondoya wards in Itilima district in Simiyu region. Here are more details.
CCM presidential running mate continues with the party's campaigns in Simiyu region, while in Igangabilili ward in Itilima district, Ambassador Dr. Emmanuel Nchimbi says his party will continue to meet the expectations and needs of the farmers by increasing the agricultural budget.
President
Samia has brought major changes to our country. This year's agriculture budget is the largest in history, and is intended to boost the subsidies for agricultural inputs such as fertilizer to ensure that pesticides are available, improved seeds are accessible, and all this will support the Tanzanians and other beneficiaries to ensure we achieve productive agriculture.
Then Dr. Nchimbi outlines the Chama cha Mapinduzi priorities to improve social services in the district.
We intend over the next 5 years to establish 3 new healthcare centers in Hitilima, located in Mahembe, Laini, and Lunguru, In addition, we're planning to construct 7 new secondary schools and 10 new primary schools, along with 170 new classrooms across Hitilima.
Some CCM cadres who accompany the CCM presidential running mate described the success made through the implementation of the party's manifesto over the past 5 years.
Currently, students are learning in improved school environments built by high standards with features such as tiled floors, gypsum ceilings, wooden doors, and well-structured toilets. As a result, they think going back home would be a waste of time. How then can anyone say that President Samia has done nothing? Today, my Generation Z friends can testify that when a woman goes for hospital checkups, by the 4th visit, the baby's gender can already be revealed. How can you say President Samia has done nothing? About 70 to 80% of our agricultural products are exported abroad. Under the leadership of President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the CCM government is planning to construct a textile industry in Mapalala. This factory will produce clothing locally, helping us reduce dependence on imported clothes for our children.
After concluding his campaigns in the Simiyu region, CCM presidential running mate is expected to continue campaigning the party's priorities in the Shinyanga region.
Tanzanian ambassador to Zimbabwe, Susan Kaganda, urges Tanzanians to take advantage of the historical relations between Tanzania and Zimbabwe and benefit from the opportunities available in growing sectors like agriculture, trade, and education. Ambassador Kaganda made the remarks in Dodoma while visiting the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC, as part of recognizing TBC's contribution to the Southern African region, including Zimbabwe. Here's a report by Castilia Wanosa, read by Father Ngaga.
Tanzania and Zimbabwe relations is based on historical ties, especially during the liberation movements in Southern Africa. Under the leadership of the first president of Tanzania, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and the first president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, Tanzania was at the forefront of supporting the liberation movements in Zimbabwe, including providing asylum to the country's freedom fighters. In developing cooperation between the two countries, Ambassador Susan Kaganda is visiting the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC, and holding talks with the Director General of the corporation, Dr. Ayub Rioba Chacha.
Tumejadili fursa zilizopo katika diplomasia ya uchumi ikiwepo kwenye eneo.
We have discussed the opportunities available in economic diplomacy, including in the areas of agriculture and trade. We also have agreements with our counterparts from Zimbabwe in the fields of transport, tourism, agriculture, and education. The question, therefore, is how Tanzanians can take advantage of these opportunities to position themselves economically.
Kwa hiyo namna gani wa Tanzania wanaweza wakatumia fursa hizo katika kujipambanua.
Kiswahili is the fastest growing language in the world with an estimated 200 million speakers. The Tanzanian embassy in Zimbabwe continues its noble efforts to promote the language.
Tunayo madarasa ambayo tumeanzisha na
we have established classes and some students have already completed basic Kiswahili training. There are experts at the embassy as well as members of the Tanzanian diaspora who are teaching. They too received training from BAKITA. On the other hand, the Director General of the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, Dr. Ayub Rioba Chacha, says her visit reinforces TBC's role and significance in the SADC region.
She outlined several important plans, such as the involvement of the media. She said that TBC will go to Zimbabwe to highlight various issues and produce documentaries. In addition, TBC will collaborate with the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Television as we share many similarities. Back in our days of Radio Tanzania Dar es Salaam, freedom fighters, including those from Zimbabwe, used to come and broadcast here. Therefore, I am very pleased and grateful to see that the ambassador recognizes the importance of involving TBC.
The Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation has played a major role since Zimbabwe's independence movement through special programs that were broadcast from Tanzania through the English language TBC channel. And now TBC is taking another step to promote economical, cultural, and social opportunities in both countries.
Secondary school and university teachers in the country say artificial intelligence skills and knowledge are imperative to students in secondary schools following the global needs and growth of science and technology. They made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during a 5-day training funded by Chinese educational institutions. Here's a story by Malio Cheto, read by Estadeus.
Speaking in Dar es Salaam during the opening of the training, teachers from primary schools, secondary schools, and universities say sufficient knowledge on artificial intelligence is imperative in addressing challenges arising from the misuse of artificial intelligence, especially amongst students.
This training is going to provide us with the skills, knowledges, and it's a wake-up call to teachers to start using AI effectively. Technological kind of activities effectively, and to integrate this AI into their teaching, the teachers. And this is going to help them to develop the student critical thinking in their subjects. And then knowledge to start to allow them to integrate what they learn at universities, to integrate them to the society.
I'm eager and more motivated to gain this experience and go and apply to in the classroom. I expect to use effective AI, artificial intelligence, to prepare lessons.
On the other hand, the coordinator of training, Huang Xiao from Zhejiang Normal University, provides the training for the teachers, say they have planned to offer the training in 3 groups: for university lecturers, secondary school teachers, and primary school teachers.
Digital literacy and scientific literacy for the teachers is very important because especially in the digital area, we should know how to use AI and how to use AI in the subject learning and the teaching that is related to the students' critical thinking. So that's why we design 3 groups of that. One group that is the educators and the faculties of the university, because that is they are the teacher educator.
Calls for quality and a competitive education, integration of ICT in teaching. Don't forget AI, which is now ruling the world. Continuous teachers development, strong regional and a global partnership. This center embodies these principles on training teachers in digital skills, expanding STEM access. When we say STEM access to ICT, this is for everyone: arts, business.
The training, funded by Chinese educational institutions, including Confucius Institute, SERI, Chinese Africa Joint Research Center of Science Education, is being held at the University of Dar es Salaam, and it will run for 5 days and is expected to benefit more than 80 teachers.
The Tanzania CEO Roundtable has been urged to continue promoting ethical and accountable leadership in the country through its CEO Apprenticeship Program, which aims to cultivate competent, ethical, and accountable Tanzanian leaders for succession into top executive roles in the private sector in the country. Speaking during a ceremony of the 5th batch of graduates of the program held in Dar es Salaam, the chairman of the board of directors of the Uongozi Institute, Ambassador Ombeni Sefue, says that through the training, the institute is making a significant contribution to the growth of the country by producing competitive leaders who are capable of leading institutions in various sectors in the country.
We are preparing leaders who will take this nation forward. This is the initiative by CEO Roundtable to groom leaders in the private sector, together with the Uongozi Institute. This is because development does not rely solely on the blessings that God has bestowed upon us.
On the other hand, the chairman of the Tanzania CEO Roundtable, David Tarimo, says through the platform more than 90 graduates have received leadership training, with more than 30% of the graduates already holding senior leadership positions in the government and the private sector, including women.
There are more than 90 people who have graduated. This has increased the number of individuals who can become CEOs in the country. Our goal is to build the people's capacity to become CEOs in companies. One thing we cannot overlook is human resources. Our mission is to strengthen this resource by building capacity, particularly among those at the leadership level.
The course aims to offer practical training to prospective directors. And on to the next news. While in some countries language divides rather than uniting, Kiswahili language has been praised as a crucial uniting force in Tanzania because it fosters national cohesion across its diverse ethnic groups, serving as a lingua franca in government, education, trade, and everyday life. Esther Deus reports.
In Africa, language is more than just a means of communication. It is a powerful force that shapes a nation's identity. In Tanzania, with more than 100 local languages, Kiswahili has become a bridge that unites a diverse country. While in Cameroon, language tells a different story, one where French and English, inherited from colonial history, divides the country.
Watanzania kwa pamoja huwezi ukatulinganisha na mataifa mengine ambayo
Tanzania, unlike other nations shaped by inherited colonial languages, must have a division in understanding the language because every society and nation is composed of small subcultures that give rise to the country.
Ni lazima linatengenezwa na tamaduni ndogo ndogo ambazo ndio zinazaa taifa.
As both countries head in a general election, the role of language becomes even more crucial.
As we move towards the big task of this year's elections, you will discover that the Kiswahili language is increasingly uniting us, unlike other nations, that when times like these pass, they experience various conflicts simply because people do not speak the same languages and do not have common grounds because they speak different languages.
For Tanzanians, Kiswahili is not just a language, it is a heartbeat of unity of the nation. We are becoming more peaceful and we're becoming more calm. And at the end of the day, we're becoming one as a nation. Even if you pass by on the street, you can greet each other and say hello and just simply say, habari, hujambo rafiki.
If you look at our country, we should especially thank Mwalimu Nyerere, who united us through this language. Since we gained independence, we can see how Tanzanians have united as one, building peace, solidarity, and love.
But in Cameroon, language has taken a different path, where colonial languages like French and English have taken the center of identity, deepening division rather than unity.
Not having one shared language limits you from a lot. I'm thinking from a minority standpoint as an English-speaking Cameroonian, and I will always say this. Cameroon would have been way better if we had one shared language like Tanzania with Kiswahili. We also were divided into English-speaking and French-speaking Cameroonians, and the English-speaking Cameroonians are greatly marginalized. If you are English-speaking, you find it very difficult getting jobs in the French region. You can go to Yaoundé well qualified, but then you will not be able to get into a certain position due to the fact that you speak English, your name comes from an English region, or the fact that you just dress like what they say, le bamenda. So I'll always say this, and I'll always stand on the fact that if Cameroonian had one shared language, we will be much, much better.
As Africa continues to write its future, one lesson stands out. Language or words can either be a bridge or a wall to unity. Esther Deus, TBC.
Country's leading dermatologists have held a free skin screening camp at the Dodoma Regional Referral Hospital, aiming to provide education and treatment for locals with skin diseases. Speaking during the exercise, dermatologist Nars Komangondi says the camp comes following reports of an increase in the disease amongst the citizens.
Kusudi ya kambi hii ni kusaidia kuongeza uelewa kwa magonjwa haya.
The purpose of this camp is to help raise awareness about these skin diseases. We felt it would be very beneficial ahead of our meeting to sit down and provide services to all citizens in need of advice or treatment for any skin-related problems, but also includes STDs.
On the other hand, the director of the Dodoma Regional Referral Hospital, Ibenzi Ernest, has thanked the specialist, while some citizens say they are grateful to receive the service.
I
am very grateful for the great work being carried out in serving Tanzanians facing challenges with skin diseases and sexually transmitted infections. This demonstrates the investment of the United Republic of Tanzania. Regarding this medical camp, it is excellent, the treatments are good, and I have received great cooperation from the doctors.
In case you missed any of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere across the globe. Before concluding the local news, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the president of the Tanzania Athletics Federation, Arti Robert Akwari, has today announced the federation's executive committee, which includes former athletes who have performed well in international competitions. Robert Akwari believes that the committee will greatly contribute to the development of the sport in the country, a statement supported by the committee members.
Matumaini yangu kwamba hawa wote ambao tumewateua kwenye hizi kamati.
We selected their best committee team who will ensure the growth of
mimi kama rais wa
athletics in this country.
Kwenye riadha mpya yenye mabadiliko makubwa hapa nchini.
Young Africans Information and Communication Manager Ali Kamwe says Mwananchi Day this season will be of high standards and fans should look forward to an entertaining day before the kick-off of Tanzania Premier League.
Tumewaalika wenzetu wa Bandari kutokea Kenya.
We will play against Bandari from Kenya. It's a tough game, as you know, Bandari. But we have signed the best player, the quality players, and many of them, you will see them on the pitch.
Tumefanya usajili bora. Usajili wenye viwango, watu wakashuhudie kwa macho yao.
Young Africans takes on Bandari from Kenya during the Mwananchi Day to be held on September 12th at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, the game that will give a chance to test the new signings before kick-off of the league. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
My name is Godfrey Kazinja. I present to you 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. For tonight, expect future particle condition, while the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 7 degrees Celsius over Mbeya regions. Wind flow patterns, average wind speed expected over the most part for country. And tomorrow expect future particle condition and long sun period over the whole country. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country. Start from the day after tomorrow. Dar es Salaam expect future particle condition and long sun period. Dodoma, the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 15 degrees Celsius. Mbeya, the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 10 degrees Celsius. Mwanza, expect future particle condition and long sun period. Kilimanjaro, the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 16 degrees Celsius. Morogoro, expect future particle condition and long sun period. While Arusha, the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 13 degrees Celsius. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good time.
That is all we have for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparinyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.